Well, it's me again. As I make my rounds today, doing my little deliveries, and I'm thinking about our politics in the country right now. It's 2012. The presidential election is coming up. And I'm wondering, if we don't re-elect Barack Obama to office, what's going to happen to our country? The Republican Party for the last 3 years have been really on the real extreme end of everything. They oppose everything that's done. They want to continue the tax cuts for big businesses and corporations and oil companies. They want to give them our tax money to run, but they're making millions and millions of dollars. Gas prices are high. Commodities is high. Food, clothing, everything that we depend on is high as hell. But we think about the presidential election. Everybody's focused on the presidential election. A lot of people want to get Barack Obama out of there because, in some people's cases it's race, and some people's cases it's just party affiliation. But we should be thinking a little bit wider than just the presidential election. Presidents can only do so much. This president's hands have been really, really tied by the Republican members of the Senate and the House of Representatives. The 2010 midterm elections set the House of Representatives up in the hands of the Republican Party being the majority. And basically everything that they've proposed have been directed at the wealthiest people in our society, big corporations, not wanting to deal with the tax base, as long as it suggests cuts of the wealthy and the taking away the taxes from the corporations. Well, I shouldn't say taxes. What I should say is subsidies. They take the American taxpayer dollar and subsidize Exxon, Mobil, all these big oil companies and these big corporations. Give them big tax breaks, money they say to operate on. But when you look at it, at the amount of money that they put in, billions of dollars a year, you have to wonder why do they need taxpayers' dollars to function? That type of profits. But we should be thinking about Congress, people that we are sending to the Congress. They're not willing. They're so party-centered. They're not willing to make any compromise. You hear the Republicans say no compromise, no compromise. Well, in anything that you do, whether any small business, big business, there's going to be a negotiating process. And in order for that business or that individual to succeed, he's going to have to do some compromising. He's going to have to make some adjustments to make it come to where you can come to an agreement. Republicans have refused to do that. So, aside from trying to elect a president, we need to look at the people that we have in our districts that we vote for and send to Congress or to the Senate, and ask ourselves, are these the right people for the job? Are they helping the matter based on what we're asking them for? I can't see a low, a poor, a low, or middle income person, no matter what their party affiliation is, wanting to pay $3.79 or 89 cents a gallon of gas, and to want to have to keep giving their money in the form of paying their taxes to these individuals that we're paying $174,000 a year to have there, for them to make legislation to benefit big corporations, millionaires and billionaires. You know, we need to look at some of those people. I live in Louisiana, okay, and I listened to I was on a robocall or a call town hall, or however you want to phrase it. Steve Scalise, where he made some statements that I know are a lie, you know, about Obama wanting to, it's been a while back, wanting to take away senior citizens' Social Security. I've never heard President Obama say anything like that, nor have I ever heard him want to take away any rights of any people. It always has appeared to me that he wants to increase people's ability to move on. It seems like every time an issue come up, the Republicans want to take that issue and disregard all the other issues. You know, this thing about gay marriage. You know, who cares? You know, anyone that's going against God's will, you know, I don't think, you know, men or women being in intimate relationships with each other is moral. But I'm of the mind that our Constitution says we can do what we want to do. So if they're doing something against the Bible, it's them that's got to pay for it. It's not society, it's not America that's got to pay for it. It's the individual that has to pay for that. You know, so I don't concern myself with people's personal desires or what they do in their personal lives. That's their business. I'm more concerned about what happens in our government, where my tax dollar go. You know, we had 8 years of George Bush and Dick Cheney and the war programs, you know, that cost our country a great deal of money. We were doing pretty well prior to getting marred down in Iraq. Afghanistan was a necessary war because that's where our enemy was. Saddam Hussein never did anything directly to the United States to cause us to have to go there and take him out of power. That was George Bush's dream to do what his father didn't do. So that was really unnecessary. It should not have been a part of our side, our country's financial, you know, woes. It created a lot of problems for us. Now, while I'm on the subject of war, let me just talk about war a little bit. War is because our country is a country of building technology and weapons, technical weapons. It's a big business. So if you start a war, you know, you increase the military's or the military industrial part of our nation You increase their income. You give them jobs. But everybody can't do those jobs. You know, it produces a lot of money for a lot of individuals. It don't produce money for the country because those that's manufacturing these weapons, those that are doing it, are not paying the taxes that they should be paying on that money. Like oil companies are not paying the taxes they should be paying. Billionaires are not paying the taxes they should be paying. You cannot run a business, and the United States is a business, the biggest business probably in the world. You cannot run a business without revenue. And the federal government, the United States government, revenue comes from its taxpayers. And the Republican Party is trying everything they can possibly do to starve the federal government of tax money. And when they starve the government of tax money, they're starving the people who pay the taxes, especially the low and middle income brackets of our country. So when you go to the polls this year to vote, don't just think about voting for the president. Take a look at your congressman, take a look at your senator, take a look at your state representatives, what's going on. You know, I have more to say about it. I have more to say about a lot of this stuff because, you know, in Louisiana we live in what is called a right-to-work state. And basically what that means is you have no negotiating power with the person that you work for. You know, if they want to pay you $7.25 an hour, the minimum wage, then that's what they're going to pay you. You have no right to say, well, I deserve a pay raise. You have no right to say, I need insurance. You know, if they choose not to do any of those things, then that's what you're going to get. So when you go to the polls this year, you take a good look at the congressman that you're sending, the senator that you're sending, the state representative that you're sending to Baton Rouge or to your state capital. They come into play also.